anymore. They're already.
And you're listening to WMNF 88.5. This is part of the John Prine special, and we have a special guest in the studio, local artists, and we're going to listen to a song of theirs. They're called Deep Pine, and this song is called Sharevival.
Same old sinking ship. We all want the same things from this short life that we live. A little food, a little shelter, maybe something up above. We all definitely want to be loved. So let's go create a world like no one's ever seen. Combining our vision instead of selfish little schemes. Sharevival for survival, make the dream come true. Sharevival for survival, you'll help me and I'll help you. We're all bozos riding around on the same big blue bus. We're all six cousins by blood, so why do we fight and fuss? If we could come together as a global family, that's the day we truly be free. So let's go create a world like no one's ever seen. Combining our wisdom instead of selfish little schemes. Sharevival for survival, make the dream come true. Sharevival for survival, you'll help me and I'll help you.
All right, well, that is Deep Pines with Sharevival, and I want to just express my gratitude for you guys getting up at an ungodly hour to do this and come on the show. And we've been having a great time talking. So tell the listeners, tell us a little bit about Deep Pines, the band, and your background and that song we just heard.
Well, thanks for having us out first, Nate. Really appreciate it. My name's Dylan Cowles, and that's Bruce Hewitt over there.
Hey, Bruce.
Deep Pine was a name that I bounced around one night when I was still getting a little bit wasted on a regular basis. And now I've been sober for years, and but it just came to me one night when I was a little bit, I don't know, whatever. We won't talk about it too much on the radio, but the name meant something to me more like, nature. I love nature a lot, so being out in nature, and also like a connection with, I don't know, loss, regret, but also wanting better things in my life. The pining aspect of it is not just pine. It's like the double meaning.
Got it. Yeah.
All right. So that's as deep as I'll get on the name of it. But the last song, Share Vival, goes out to the creator of the Blueberry Patch, Dallas Bohr. I used to sit on his front porch and drink sake with him, and that was a lot of the words in that song are philosophies that he came up with on life. So,
and that is one of the John Prine connections, because of course he lived in Gulfport, had a house in Gulfport. He and Fiona and the kids had a house there, and they were a part of the community. People, you could just see them just around. That's kind of amazing to imagine. But at least my understanding is that's the kind of guy that he was. Is that you could just stop by and wave and say hello, and but Gulfport was one of those areas that was very hard hit last year by the hurricanes. How did you guys experience any of that? Know people who did?
Yeah, absolutely. And Nate, by the way, thank you so much for your show. Oh my gosh, the Vortex is so good. If you hit all those, we hit all those goals for the WMNF. But keep pledging and definitely hit the tip jar for the Vortex. Nate's work and his dedication to the show, and you can always listen to it for a week, and then you can listen to it again on Mixcloud. It's really amazing what you've done here and how you curate like this fantastic deep dive. The first tribute show to John Prine, we couldn't be happier to be with you. I mean, happy birthday, John, but oh my goodness.
Right.
As far as Gulfport, though, we play at a couple of spots down there, and one of them is Gulfport Brewery, but the reaction, the response was insane, because the community is kind of a John Prine community. People,
right.
John Prine could be having breakfast at Stella's, a couple eggs and some bacon and fries, and people can walk by. It's just a normal like community that's tightly knit, and it really digs into like his songs where he talks about the small towns.
Right, and that's the feel that he gets. So now you guys, you've got your guitars here. You're all tuned up and warmed up and ready to go. So tell us what song are you guys going to play this morning?
We're relatively ready to go for 5-something in the morning. I don't know how good my voice will be, but it'll be good enough. It'll be good enough.
You sound marvelous.
This one is called Some Grace, and it's fairly new. We just recorded it. It'll be on the next 7 that we're getting done coming up here at Everlevin Studios with Scott Anderson. But this one is kind of like giving yourself a little an okay in life, like a pat on the back every once in a while, because I have a hard time with that. I can't enjoy things very well in my life, and I find that a lot of people have that same issue. So,
all right.
Anyway, this one's called Some Grace. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes patience, but I grow so tired of waiting. I should probably just go along to get along. I've never been good at following. I always want to be the leader and do my own thing, but every way I turn seems to turn out wrong. I think I'll
Give myself some grace and watch the flowers bloom. Then let the rain come and drown out the doom and gloom. Watch the black clouds roll out past the hills. Give myself some grace and let the sunshine fill up my soul. The world never lived up to my pie in the sky expectations. Grand schemes and pipe dreams have torn me apart. My thoughts are dark as a new moon night out on the Florida coast, but there's enough starlight to shine a path for me to make a brand new start. I think I'll give myself some grace and watch the flowers bloom. Then let the rain come and drown out the doom and gloom. Let the black clouds roll out past the hills. Give myself some grace and let the sunshine fill up my soul. My soul. Fill up my soul. Fill up my soul. My soul. Fill up my soul.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. That was great for like your first kickoff song. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
I am very, impressed going for those notes. And I think, it's a little bit tough right now. There's a lot going on, and we're all not going to respond to the news and the world events perfectly, and so we should give ourselves some grace. I think that's a good message.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult. I know on a personal level all the time to be okay with it, like at least with myself. It's easier for me to be okay with other people, it feels like, but
yeah, they always talk about treat yourself like you would others, and
but I judge other people very harshly too. Sorry, just being honest.
Well, I mean that's part of it. To talk about. I should say we're listening to the Deep Pines. They're playing music here live in the studio here at Studio One, WMNF. Tampa. We're so thankful that they're joining us on the Vortex. And, just to bring it back to radio a little bit, I know I make mistakes on air every single time. It doesn't matter how well I prepare, how well my notes are organized. It doesn't matter, which songs I pick. And part of that is kind of the beauty of live radio, because if it didn't have flaws, if it was totally AI algorithm prepackaged, then that wouldn't be very interesting.
We would sound like robots.
Yeah, exactly. And so I definitely, every time I leave, I'm like, oh man. And then I go back and listen to it and I'm like, it really wasn't that bad. But in my mind, it's a big,
we were listening to you on the way over and you sound pretty smooth, dude. So we'll give you that.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it for sure. All right. So, let's see. Should we listen to another studio song, or do you want to play another song live first? What do you guys want to do?
We can listen to one of the studio tracks if you want to. You had mentioned you'd like Swept Away, and that one has a lot to do with, it was written about like my neighborhood and the blueberry patch. Specifically, the blueberry patch put tens of thousands of dollars into clearing away trees that fell across the blueberry patch, and it took all their patch pals, like to name a few, like Douglas and Linda and Jen and Andy and Bob and Tom and so many others were out there helping all the time to make the place. They were thinking about shutting it down. That's how destroyed it was after.
Really?
Was it Milton?
Yeah.
Milton? Milton.
I don't know which one.
It was horrible. Milton was the horrible.
13 days
And
of destruction.
Around my house, just to let you know how crazy it was, at the height of the storm, we were right on the edge of the storm wall.
Right.
You could hear the trees hitting the ground, thumping the ground.
Oh, my gosh.
And like 7 out of the 10 houses around me got some tree damage. 3 of them got destroyed by massive trees. So we lucked out so much. I was so grateful that our house didn't get destroyed during that. And I'd never been scared like that during a storm before. So this song came out of that. It's called Swept Away.
All right. Well, you're listening to Deep Pine live on WMNF.
Sunshine every day till a storm came along and swept it all away. It's gonna take some time to rebuild this place, but I'm so grateful that my friends and family are all okay. Any one of us could have been swept away. Any one of us could have been swept away. Any one of us could have been swept away. Any one of us could have been swept away. The gods are vengeful, others say they'll save the day. Some think they do not meddle or intervene in any way. I don't know what to believe, I just know what I see. And if I never see another storm like that, goddamn, that'd be alright with me. Any one of us could have been swept away. Any one of us could have been swept away. Any one of us could have been swept away. Any one of us could have been swept away.
Hey, music lovers, do you like to check out new music but also love those great artists throughout the decades? Well, Harrison, Sam, DJ Jimmy, and me, Blanny, would like to invite you to join us every Monday through Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. on It's the Music, where each show is a unique listening experience guaranteed to please your ears. That's It's the Music, 1 to 3 p.m., Monday through Thursday, here on WMNF 88.5 FM.
That's right, WMNF 88.5 FM, and we just heard Swept Away by Deep Pine. We have Deep Pine here in the studio with us, and I'm so thankful that they got up early to be here. We were just talking a little bit about the complex nature of that song, how superficially, when you hear it, it's it's upbeat. There's all these
funky. Man.
It is. It's funky. There's these there's these rhythms. It's a lot of fun. Makes you want to bounce. But then you listen to the lyrics, and it's literally about
afraid of dying,
being swept away.
Like literally afraid of dying. I was in that storm at the height of the storm. I never thought I would be that scared. I was always the hurricane party guy back in the day, where I would go out to bars or to people's houses. There's always on this coast hurricane party after hurricane party. We never had to worry about it for like 25 years.
Right.
And then to really experience it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not a laughing matter when these storms come through, like on the other side of the state or through the middle of the state. People are really dealing with loss and just being scared out of their minds when this stuff happens.
So let's talk just a little bit about the songwriting process as you were processing that. How do you think you got from point A to point B? Why do you think that song turned out the way it did?
Well, let me interject there, because for sure John Prine's celebration and tribute today, and Nate Diggity Dog, oh my goodness, this is the best thing we could ever enjoy with you, and thank you. This is a great show.
Thanks again.
John was a genre-bending kind of storyteller.
For sure.
And Dylan is always, if you ask him what his genre is, you will get a list. You're not going to be able to stop, and our songs are all over the map. So when he was doing this song, I feel like he really bent in the level with those lyrics. I have trouble playing it and not jumping around on stage because it's so upbeat. I'm so happy to play it.
Sure.
But at the same time, we all went through this catastrophe. We watched Gulfport's waters rise all the way up the street and into people's homes, and they've been suffering for a couple of years, and a lot of that's become invisible because some of them got fixed, some of them had to walk away, some of them had to leave, but the place is still recovering. So I felt like that song is got a real interesting mix to it.
Yeah, and it's also like, when I went to write it, I wanted a song that could turn into a storm. I wanted to start kind of, a feel to it where it's moving along but could get wild. Like I couldn't have done it with a folk song. I couldn't have done it with even a rock song, because I would have had to rock from the beginning, rock to the end.
Right.
This one can start out with hand drums or just the bass at the beginning, not just the bass, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it builds and builds and builds and builds and then drops back down like a hurricane, and then builds and builds and builds and drops back down.
Well, I think that what you just described, the dynamic nature of music, is one of my favorite things about it. And a lot of the songs that I will play on the Vortex I have a little bit more leeway here than I do at drive time. I can play a longer song that has more ebb and flow to it, and that is definitely a lot of fun. So you guys, what song are you going to play next?
Well, speaking of bending genres, John Prine was incredibly good at talking about lost youth and exploring his lost youth. And why don't you tell us, Dylan, what you were thinking when you did this song?
Well, it's basically a guy sitting at the bar, pining for his lost youth. He's about my age, might look somewhat like me. And he's just sitting there thinking about, as he gets more and more wasted, about how he can do it, how he can get it back, how he can get his youth back. And then by the end, he kind of realizes he can't. It's a happy and sad song, kind of like a lot of songs I write.
Okay.
It's got funny parts and sad parts.
So this is Deep Pine on WMNF.
Kicking rocks.
There you go.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it feels like I'm walking the loneliest strip on an infinite strand of beach. The wind blows sand into my eyes. Everyone is out of reach, but still I search for a lining, even when there's only clouds for me. The sunset will be beautiful, even though it's impossible to see. Take me back to when used to twist 'em up and knock back some barley pop. Just a couple of Florida kids kicking rocks and flip-flops. Now I don't know where I'm going, I don't know when it's gonna stop. I heard that you can never go home, but I wanna give it a shot. Alone I ride this arc of time through the dead of night until the sunrise bleeds. And like these endless breakers rolling in, someday I will be free. Do you remember the times back in the day, the sacred memories, the photographs so magic, and they never fail to transport me. Take me back to when used to twist 'em up and knock back some barley pop. Just a couple of Florida kids kicking rocks and flip-flops. Now I don't know where I'm going, I don't know when it's gonna stop. I heard that you can never go home, but I wanna give it a shot. Let's twist 'em up and knock back some barley pop. Just like a couple of Florida kids kicking rocks and flip-flops. Now I don't know where I'm going, I don't know when it's gonna stop. Heard that you can never go home, but I wanna give it a shot. 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 Forget about it. Bartender, just line us up some shots.
All right. It's not the Deep Pine. It's just Deep Pine, right?
Yeah, just Deep Pine.
Got it. Deep Pine on WMNF 88.5 live in the studio. Absolutely knocking it out of the park.
Thanks.
Before dawn.
Right.
Very, very impressive. You guys remind me, one time I saw Susan Tedeschi at a blues festival, and this was 25 years ago, and she was the first person on the lineup, and it was literally 10 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And it's like hard to play the blues in the blinding sunlight. And
I saw Derek Trucks when he was like 13 or 14
Yeah.
at Skipper's, and he pulled his hat down. He would not show his eyes to the crowd the whole time. It was like one of his first big shows, sold out Skipper show.
Yeah,
and he
that's
would not
awesome.
look at the audience. He was just like this the whole time, but ripping, just like tearing it up. But
Yeah.
he wouldn't look at anybody.
I saw him in Gainesville right about that when he was that age, and I can imagine seeing him at Skipper's. That's fantastic.
Well, Dylan, he's up all night writing songs, so it's incredibly nice to be here because he finished one. He sent me at 1:00 this morning. That is
Did you go to
fantastic.
see?
No. I wrote 2 songs today. But,
Oh, wow.
they're not. Most of them are not very good, but it's like it just.
Well,
it's keeping up with the process.
I'm sure John Prine songs were not all good. Actually, I think about that a lot. Like, what
Me too.
didn't make the cut? Like, what?
I was just having that conversation
Yeah.
with Bruce the other day. Like, which ones are in people's catalogs after they pass on,
Right.
that won't be released to people that curate them, and told them, like, don't release these songs after I die. Like,
Yes.
like, think about Tom Petty. How many hundreds of songs have may
Oh.
not been released?
Right. For
because
sure.
He's like
Absolutely.
so prolific, or Bob Dylan, or whoever. Like different writers.
Well, kind of like John Prine, though, Dylan is in a creative fly right now. He is just blowing up. And you reach that point in life and you start giving back to the world, and then you've got this just creative energy that's just coming and bubbling over all the time. So we did these 14 songs that are coming out will be one just solid release pretty much. And then we've got another 14 to go. So we're really going to have to get over to the studio a lot more.
Yeah.
And then another 28 after that. No, there is like whole theme albums that I have, like a acoustic kind of album I'd like to do that's more stripped down,
Right.
kind of more like John Prine type stuff. That's
Well,
it doesn't really lend itself to full band. I mean, there can be that kind of build up in it, but
Well, we're gonna get back to John Prine. If there's one thing John Prine liked, it was cars, and so we're gonna listen to "Automobile" and then Will Hoag's song "John Prine's Cadillac" on the Vortex.
Happy birthday, John.
February morning, my car won't start today. I turn the key, at 8:03, with the battery passed away inside of my automobile. Automobile, automobile, I'm gonna drive it all around. Bride's getting married in the springtime, the widow's getting married in the fall. I got married in high school, or I wouldn't have gotten married at all. I'd be driving my automobile. Drive my automobile, drive my automobile, I'm gonna drive it all around the world. Everybody said to the new groom, what you gonna be? I said, I'm gonna be a symphony just as soon as I find a key to my automobile, I want my automobile all around the world. Let's take a ride. Sailed the ocean, Moses parted the sea. Dolores left me yesterday. Well, I think she took the key to my automobile. I want my automobile. I'm gonna drive it all around. Now I held a little bitty baby. I held a woman all night. Whenever I get the hiccups, I hold my breath till my head gets light. And I drive my automobile, automobile, I drive my automobile, I wanna drive it all around this world. won't start today. Then I turned the key at 8:03 and the battery passed away in the satellite. Automobile on down, automobile on down, automobile on down, all around. Go on. Man, it's a beautiful day for a ride. Al, get your head down. I can't see anything. Someone give me a cigarette. I don't have to take my hands off the wheel. You ought to take the air cleaner off this sucker so we can see what it really do. Uh-oh. Looks to me like a hospital zone. Everybody be quiet. Don't wake the dead up. We're almost there. Hang on. Uh-oh, here we go.
You can help WMNF now and into the future by donating gifts of stock, real estate, retirement assets, or a life insurance policy. It's easy to leave a legacy of love. Just call 813-238-8001 or go to WMNF.org/plannedgiving to get started today.
Mashed potatoes. Jesus Christ ain't gonna save us. Be careful of this old world to make us crazy as a three-leg mule. Bacon biscuits, brown and easy. Fried chicken all nice and greasy. Every time she comes round here and sees me, I'm shaking like a love Trump fool. 'Cause I'm smiling like a sinner on a monthly last Sundays. I guess I'm pretty alright. Put it in a postcard, tell the whole world that I'm just fine. And I'm skipping like a flat rock, sailing across the water, shining like the Ramen stained glass. Happy as the music coming out of the speakers in the back of John Prime's Cadillac. Rolling slow, humming a song. I keep my Christmas tree lit up all year long. You got me smiling bigger than Cheech and Chong. My heart banging like two boots in a dryer. I roll the dice and I can't lose. I got rings on my fingers and wings on my shoes. If I try to sing them lovesick blues, everybody will know that I'm a liar. 'Cause I'm smiling like a sinner on a monthly last Sundays. I guess I'm pretty alright. Put it in a postcard, tell the whole world that I'm just fine. And I'm
Prine is here in the studio, and we're talking about John Prine and cars. And that was Will Hogue with John Prine's Cadillac and John Prine Automobile on 88.5 WMNF. I'm so grateful to Deep Pine for coming in this morning and telling me stories about John Prine, because I don't, other than just telling people how much I love listening to John Prine, that's not a great story. You have a better story you want to tell us?
It's not great, but it's my story about John Prine. I've lived in Gulfport a couple different times throughout my life, and I knew that he was living in Gulfport right after he moved there. I'd heard through WMNF that he was living in Gulfport, and that he's a nice guy, but, just don't, fanboy him too much.
Right.
Don't run up on him,
Right.
Just be nice and normal, and he's
Sure.
a nice guy. That's what I heard through the grapevine. But I was karaokeing at a place called O'Matty's one night, because they have karaoke 7 days a week down in Gulfport at O'Matty's. And I was in there and I did my Doors song, and I got done, and this guy walked up to me, and he was in a suit, which was weird. Like, he was no tie, but like
Right.
a blackish or dark blue suit with white shirt, and came up and shook my hand, and he looked somewhat familiar, but I'd had a few. I was in my cups.
What did he pull up in, though? What was his car?
Well, that's the end of the story. But, I did Break On Through by the Doors, and he came up. He was like, good job. And he got up and did a Beatles song. And when he got done, I was like, good job. And then he walked out, and his driver was standing there, and he got into the limo and took off. And I was like, wait, who was that? And I went home and looked it up on my computer right away, and it was John Prine. I was like, I didn't even say hi to John Prine and tell him how much I admired him. I just said, good job, with your karaoke song, and shook his hand because he shook mine when I got done. And this is a really nice guy. He didn't hang out at all. Didn't have a drink or anything.
Right.
He just went in and karaoke the song. He let him get right up on stage, which
Sure.
I thought was weird too. Did he call in ahead of time
Right.
to get his slot? How did he get ahead of everybody? But then
Yeah.
he jumped in the limo, and he
Wow.
must have been going somewhere, right after that, because he was all dressed up.
Right. Well,
But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That that area right down the street from where Dylan was doing his songs with John Prine on the same stage. Let's just kind of hold that for a second. That Gulfport Casino had the No Kings protest,
Right.
And it was off the chain. Lots of people, thousands of people there. St. Pete had the same thing going on. Very peaceful.
Well, all over the nation, there was, thousands of protests of various size.
And we were just so glad to be a part of it, because you felt like you could talk to people and be open and honest about your feelings. And, everyone was involved, that they just had their different signs and taking selfies. The only thing that I was really talking to a friend about was, not only do we have the thousands of people that showed up across the nation, millions across the nation, but definitely in St. Pete, Tampa, and Gulfport, we also had the social media, that part of it is really strong for adding. So 3,500 people showed up, but 35,000 social media hits. I mean, it's just plus and plus, because when you're doing all those selfies and everybody's walking down the sidewalk and taking pictures of signs, it makes it lightens it up. So it kind of gives that, John Prine was a big writer and focused a lot on the Vietnam War, which had a lot of impact on my young life, but his wry sense of humor and the way he would bring that into a political song would make it somewhat of a accessible to the common man.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's a really beautiful thing about musicians like Dylan and the creativity that you do with your lyrics. This next song is absolutely one of our favorites, and it's a protest song. We've got a couple of them, but we'll probably call this our theme protest song. It's enough.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and hear that now. That this is Deep Pine, a timely song. It's enough on WMNF, The Vortex.
In retrograde and fascism's back on parade. I know what I want to say to all those people who love to hate. I want a happy life. I want to live in the light. I want to share the love, and that's enough. Looking back on history, one thing seems crystal clear to me. Tyrants love their sycophants. They love to make the puppets dance. But I want a happy life. I want to live in the light. I want to share the love, and that's enough. Just can't get enough. They got rooms and vaults filled with stuff, but stuff will never heal your heart when times get tough and life goes dark. But I want a happy life. I want to live in the light. I want to share the love, and that's enough. Judge you by the color of your skin or your sexual orientation with misogynistic tendencies are all just symptoms of the same disease. But I want a happy life. I want to live in the light. I want to share the love, and that's enough. It's enough for me. I'd do almost anything for them. I got nothing but love for you, 'cause I know you feel the same way too. We want a happy life. We want to live in the light. We want to share the love, and that's enough. That's enough for me. Yeah, enough for you and me. Oh yeah.
Deep Pine, It's Enough on WMNF. That's an unreleased studio version, which we will have released eventually at some point. And then we're going to play another song here in just a minute. But before we go, since we're going to wrap it up, and then Scott Elliott's going to do the morning show after NPR, but can you just tell the listeners just how can they find out more about you guys, and what's the best way to, if they wanted to get in touch with you, etc.?
Deep Pine Band at Instagram. Deep Pine was already taken. It's all taken all over the place, but we are Deep Pine, but it's Deep Pine Band on Instagram and Deep Pine Band on Facebook. And that's pretty much the only places you can get in touch with us right now. We're still building a website. We're brand new. We just started playing out about 8 months ago, and
right.
So recording in the studio, getting stuff done, but still a work in progress. Definitely.
You've got a new fan. Gwendolyn gets a shout out. She says, "Fabulous show, enjoying Deep Pine and the songs and the stories." So
thanks, Gwendolyn.
There you go.
We're doing the festival at the Blueberry Patch on November 22nd.
Right.
And that is going to be...
Blueberry Brother is the name of it. It's like themed after Burning Man, but they can't...
Right.
I guess legally you're not allowed to use anything that goes with Burning Man, so it's Blueberry Brother. And it's their biggest show of the year as far as people coming out there. Usually have between like 500 and 800 people. It's going to be a
Yeah, I'm gonna try to check that out for sure. Okay, well, this has been the Vortex. I'm so thankful to Deep Pine for coming for the John Prine special. You're listening to WMNF Tampa, and they're going to take it out to NPR News.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The bad times, neon shining out through the mangroves, rusted cars out through the naked willows, front porch covered in kudzu vine. You're always creeping up into my mind. You've been howling through the eaves like a theremin. Now I'm banging on your window crying, let me in, let me in. Won't you let me are falling from the live oak branches, and I still believe in second chances. Dugout canoe drifting on the bayou, listening to the wind rocking through the bamboo. Red sun sliding through a cloudless climb, all the broken shells littering the shoreline. Pick the right groove, watch the tumbler spin. I've been trying to find a key that would let me in, let me in. Won't you let me in? Won't you let me in? Won't you let me
A donation to WMNF can take many forms, including that vehicle or property you no longer need. If you don't need it, donate it. Help us bring you the music you love and the news you can count on. Go to WMNF.org or call 888-WMNF-885.
Thanks again to Deep Pine for coming in. You have no idea how hard it is to come in. They're not in the live music studio, which is made for bands. This is the Studio One, which is made for sitting and talking. But they made it work, and we appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Nate Diggity Dog. Thanks a lot for having us out, man.
Amazing. The Vortex. Oh, my gosh. Mixcloud, Nate Diggity Dog, the DJ, the curator. Oh, my heavens. Thank you.
All right. NPR News is now, and then Scott Elliott.